Welcome into Titan Game Day morning. Happy home game to you if you are headed to Nissan Stadium later today. Looking forward to seeing you guys out and about. If you're not, we can get you ready for this game a couple hours before kickoff. We're happy to have you in here as always, of course, on the Titan Game Day morning show. It is made possible by the great people at Two Rivers Ford, the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage, and Zen Sports that you see artfully placed behind me. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about throughout the course of this morning and not a ton of time to get to it because, of course, you guys know I'm on the air on Titans Radio at 9 a.m. today, but we have to spend a little time here with the A to Z audience before we head on out to Nissan Stadium. So you know the drill. 3 keys to success for the Titans to be able to get their first win of the season, for the Titans to be able to beat the Los Angeles Chargers at Nissan Stadium. We're going to talk about it together. We'll go through these 3 things. Of course, you'll hear from Ryan Tannehill and Greg Cosell. Jags got juice, says Vols ain't doing nothing this year. Well, that's a good thing that we're not worried about the Vols because it's Sunday morning, and that means it's time for the NFL. We'll go ahead and get this thing started. Welcome into Titan Game Day morning. As I mentioned, it's presented by Two Rivers Ford, the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage, and Zen Sportsbook. Download the Zen Sportsbook app today and get yourself in on all the action. So it's real simple. What is the biggest key for Titans' success today against the Chargers? You have seen that DeAndre Hopkins will officially play. I assume that most of you have seen this morning that Joey Bosa has also been ruled in for this game. Austin Eckler ruled out. Cloudhouse Entertainment says Buck is all of our sickness. I don't know about that. That sounds a bit dramatic. I'm just happy to have you guys here this morning. Turnovers, says TK. No turnovers, says Dat Boy Tree. Feed Henry, says John Bobst on Facebook Live. Well, I think the first and foremost key to success for the Tennessee Titans to be able to win today has been articulated by a few of you. That is, of course, the turnover situation. But it's more important than the turnovers, and I'll explain what I mean here in just a second. You'll also hear from Ryan Tannehill, of course, right after I remind you that the Titan Game Day morning show is made possible by Two Rivers Ford. Powered by Ford, driven by people, quality American-made Ford vehicles, and award-winning customer service. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet is where you go to get in on all the action. Turnovers, 3 interceptions specifically by the quarterback. But to be honest with you, it goes deeper than the interceptions to me. But we'll get to Ryan Tannehill here in just a second. The turnovers are, of course, first and foremost, the thing that they cannot have at that kind of rate if they are expected to win this game at home today. And that was something that Ian Rappaport touched on. Ryan Tannehill and Mike Vrabel earlier this week on the NFL Network.
I would always say no, that it's ridiculous, right? Because it's literally one game. But it's not really one game because it was also kind of last year, and obviously they had Malik Willis last year, and they went out and they drafted Will Levis in the second round, actually traded up to draft Will Levis in the second round, which somehow makes it more urgent. I don't know why, but that's kind of what it feels like. And then you read Vrabel's comments. We have to be better. Ryan has to be better. We have to hit guys that are open. You can't force the ball into double coverage. Like, that is rare, right? Like, there's not I cannot think really in recent memory when you hear a coach he's not wrong, obviously. Of course he's right. But, like, that's pretty real. And obviously him and Tannehill have to have a good relationship for him to be able to say that publicly. But that, to me, Mike, at least kind of starts the clock of, like, we're going to at least think about it. And I know everyone sort of decided that Malik Willis sucks after last year. Sounds like he had a really good camp. And I don't know that he sucks anymore. He might actually be an interesting option here for the Titans. We'll see, though.
I think that's a bit premature, but it's not dismissible, right? Because of the nature of what happened with Ryan Tannehill. And of course, if he continues to struggle that way, then they have to consider alternate options. But at this point, Ryan Tannehill is on track to continue to be the starter. He'll have an opportunity to redeem himself to an extent today, and the turnovers are of course, the issue. So the first key, the biggest key for the Titans to have success today, of course, we're talking about it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Jonathan Caverly says, Rap is right. Not sure why this bothered some people. I didn't see that it bothered people or anything like that. And I didn't think that it was anything outside the norm. Like when Ryan Tannehill has a performance that's poor, it's not like Vrabel doesn't, talk about it or acknowledge that Ryan Tannehill doesn't need to be better. It's just this was actually the worst performance of Ryan Tannehill's career, and it's an idea of, okay, is he washed or not? Is that the discussion that we're having? Gabriel Ruiz says, Buck, what's the longest losing streak in Titans history? So we're going on 8 games, right? They haven't won in 8 games, and I've got a year over year results board here in my office. I'm going to see if I can pull it down without pulling down my entire cork board in the office over here. It seems like that's not going to be. I'm literally pulling half the stuff. For some reason, I connected all of this stuff together. But I don't see a streak on here that's longer than 8. These are my year over year results for the Titans since their inception as the Tennessee Titans. I don't see a streak of 8 consecutive on this list. We may well be. Okay, let's see. In 2005, they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 straight, but not 8, obviously. Let's see. What was the recent years were probably where you could find or the more recent years are probably where you could find an 8-game losing streak. Let's see. All right. Cleveland, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's a win in there at New Orleans in overtime. That was Marcus's rookie year. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think they've ever had 8 straight losses the way that they do right now. Not just based off of, okay, here it is. 2014. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight to end the year. Their last win in the 2014 season was a 2-point win hosting Jacksonville. They then lost to Washington. Houston had a bye, lost to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Philly, Houston, Giants, Jets, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis. So a 10-game losing streak in 2014 is the record. So that is where they are at right now. But it is, it's almost, we're damn near, we're not that far away from a calendar year of them having not won a game. So like November 17th is the last time that they won an actual regular season game. I know they won a preseason game, 2 preseason games. But yeah, we'll not count those for these purposes. I think that were those in a row, says Susan Solnick? Yes, those were in a row in 2014. I guess they started the 2014 season 2-1. No, excuse me. They started the 2014 season, won their first game of the year. They blew out Kansas City by 16 points, lost 4 straight, won a game against the Jags, and lost 10 to end the year. Tough scene, 2014. Anyway, keys to success. Ryan Tannehill not only needs to not turn the ball over, he can't miss opportunities. Chargers gave up a bunch of yardage last week against the Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill has to be sharp. You'll hear from him in a second, right after I remind you that the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage presents this Titan Game Day morning show. Go to GaryAshton.com for the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators. The intel edge you need to succeed. Don't sell without the intel that can only be found at GaryAshton.com. Ryan Tannehill had a terrible game. Ryan Tannehill answered a bunch of questions about it. At a certain point this week, Ryan Tannehill was tired of answering questions about
it. Guys, I just want to move on to San Diego. I'm not going to answer any more questions about what happened Sunday. What happened Sunday happened. I'm not happy about it. No one in this building's happy about it. But at the end of the day, it's over. We can learn from it. We can move on. And if you have any questions about LA, I'm more than happy to answer.
So that's Ryan Tannehill. And listen, I think it's fair. There's only so much he can say about the Saints game before it's like, all right, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try and play better against the Chargers. If I don't play better against the Chargers, then we can talk about that after the Chargers game. But, in the week leading up, like it's on and on. And I saw the ESPN. It's not like Teron Davenport didn't write this headline. This is something that their website people do. But it said Ryan Tannehill refuses to answer questions about his week 1 performance or something like that. Anyone refusing to answer questions. We'd asked him, 3 days worth of questions in our last 3 meetings with him. And, there's only so much more that he can say before we have to start talking about another opponent. So I think that Tannehill, not just the turnover. So we'll say team-wide turnovers, huge key. Second, obviously Tannehill needs to be operationally better. And then, their pass pro was okay last week. Andre Dillard was poor, though. Andre Dillard needs to be better, and it's something to keep in mind. Peter Skoronski has officially been ruled out. Joey Bosa is in, Peter Skoronski is out, and this team needs Andre Dillard as the left tackle to be much better. We talked all week about Dennis Allen, Greg, or at least for a good chunk of the podcast last week about Dennis Allen and how difficult a defense that is to play against, and the horses that they've got up front specifically. And you could tell, we know that the Titans' offensive line had question marks, to be generous, coming into this season, but you could see the ways that that unit was taking advantage of time in and time out, basically every time they drop back to pass.
Look, here's what they did. I mean, they knew that you had Dillard playing left tackle, and Dillard has somewhat of a track record in the league, and everybody knows what his strengths and weaknesses are. Hopefully the weaknesses get worked on and he becomes better. They also knew, the Saints, that you had a rookie at left guard playing a position he hasn't played in at least 3 years. Okay, so what did they do a lot of? They stunted, and they gave them major problems, whether it was a TE stunt, meaning the tackle goes forward as the penetrator and the end is the looper, or an ET stunt, which means the end goes first as the penetrator and the tackle is the looper. And they caused a lot of problems for Dillard and Skoronski. Some were the fault of Dillard. Others were just really well executed stunts that, I mean, if you're setting up, think of it this way, Buck, and hopefully people can visualize this to some degree. If you're setting up, there's a defender right in front of you, and he's your guy, and all of a sudden he starts coming at you, okay? You're prepared to block him. And then as you're prepared to block him, all of a sudden someone from outside your field of vision just drills you from the side. That's what happens here. That's what a stunt does. And, those things are hard to deal with at times.
Yeah, they certainly struggled with it throughout the course of the game. And I mean, so that's from the this week's episode of The Install with Greg Cosell. Not too late to get your pregame Chargers preview. We broke down the Saints loss, obviously. We talked a lot about the Tannehill interceptions and, of course, got into the Chargers and the problems that they present. So a quick Zen Sports best bet before we wrap things up, and I head on out to Nissan Stadium to do the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff. Hope to see you guys outside of Gate 1. Gate 1 is where Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, Kayla Anderson, and myself will be set up on the stage out there right outside the Pro Shop. So if you're doing some last-second shopping or you're tailgating out there, we always enjoy seeing you guys while we're doing Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff from 9 to 11. The Zen Sports Best Bet is presented by Zen Sports. Download the Zen Sportsbook app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN, just as you see behind me right there. That's ATOZTN, and you will get 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days. The Zen Sports best bet this week, Ryan Tannehill passing touchdowns over 1.5 is plus 125. 2 touchdowns for Ryan Tannehill seems fairly attainable. The Chargers defense was hideous last week, particularly against the pass. Titans had opportunities for explosive plays in the passing game and just flat out missed them. Missed several wheel route opportunities, missed the flea flicker, as we've talked about, missed Treylon Burks from a time or two. So Ryan Tannehill has opportunities. I think that this is an attainable goal. Chargers defense was as bad as they have been in the Brandon Staley era when it comes to EPA last week. And I think that while there may be a lack of faith in Ryan Tannehill generally amongst you right now, that I think that that's a good opportunity for at least you to feel a little better and try and cash in on some bets. Promo code ATOZTN in the Zen Sportsbook app. That's going to do it for the Titan Game Day Morning Show. Of course, the next time we talk to you, it will be post game. It will be after the Titans play the Chargers. We'll be back here in the home studio. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of you guys out at Nissan Stadium. Of course, if you're out and about, come say hi. It's always good to chop it up and talk some shop if you guys have some pregame thoughts before the game. And if not, I'll talk to you on the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff in just about 43 minutes from now on 104.5 The Zone. See you guys.
Are you surprised to hear that?
Certainly not. The first year we took it to the limit.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
It's been 20 years since then. We haven't been too strong in the last few years.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules. You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.